Forgetfulness of the past. Spirits in bodily life usually do not clearly remember former lives. This forgetfulness is part of a wise order. Full memory would often confuse or overwhelm, while the veil over the past helps a person live the present life freely. But the past is not lost. The Spirit brings into each new life the progress already gained, its formed tendencies, and a greater power to understand. In the Spirit state, it sees its past more clearly, recognizes its faults, and accepts a new life to repair and improve. Thus, the past remains present in moral form. Harmful impulses may be linked to former faults, while conscience resists them. If a spirit endures its trials well and resists evil tendencies, it rises on returning to spirit life. Why forgetfulness does not cancel responsibility. Responsibility does not depend on remembering past acts in detail. What matters is the spirit's present moral condition, the tendencies it still carries, and the use it makes of its freedom now. Each life is not a new beginning from nothing. The spirit returns with lessons already learned and an inner sense of what it must overcome. Full memory would also lessen merit, since a person might do good only because past punishments were plainly remembered. Intuition, instinct, and conscience. Even without clear memory, there is often an intuition of the past. Instinctive tendencies are a kind of remembrance, showing inclinations already formed. Conscience stands against these tendencies when they lead to wrong. It may reflect the resolution made in the spirit state not to repeat former faults. By studying present tendencies, a person may learn something of the past, though only imperfectly. A present life may also include new faults if the spirit has not yet learned to resist certain trials. But spirits do not lose the progress already gained. They advance or remain delayed. They do not truly go backward. More evolved worlds and the memory of the past. On worlds more advanced than Earth, memory of former lives is often clear, because the body is less material. On some higher worlds, people remember past lives clearly and better appreciate their present happiness. On others, life is improved but still troubled, and the inhabitants may not clearly recall a worse past while incarnate, though they understand it later in spirit life. On lower worlds, where suffering is still heavy, full remembrance would often increase distress instead of helping. The Providence in forgetfulness. The hiding of former lives is an act of mercy. Clear memory could crush some with shame and fill others with pride, and both would harm freedom. It also protects social life. If people remembered what others had done in former lives, relationships could be poisoned by resentment, humiliation, distrust, or superiority. So the veil over the past is usually a blessing. What is needed for improvement remains through conscience and the tendencies that must be corrected, while what would feed vanity, despair, or conflict is hidden. Partial memories and exceptional revelations. Sometimes a person receives a faint glimpse of a former life, but such impressions are often imaginary. So caution is necessary. There are also rare cases in which a person truly knows something of a past life. Such revelations are not given for curiosity, but only for a useful purpose and by permission of higher spirits. Future lives cannot be revealed because they depend on how the present life is lived and on later choices of the spirit. Free will and the choice of trials. Spirits always keep free will. Before a new bodily life, in the spirit state, they choose the trials suited to their progress and expiation. During earthly life, they remain free to choose between good and evil. Without freedom, a person would be only a machine. These trials are linked to faults that must be repaired and virtues that must grow. If the spirit overcomes them, it advances. If it fails, the same work must be faced again. What present trials can reveal about the past? A person's trials may suggest the general kind of faults that came before, though no fixed rule can be made. Instinctive tendencies are usually safer signs than outward suffering alone, since trials concern both past repair and future growth. Still, there is often a moral correspondence between fault and consequence. Pride may be corrected by humiliation, greed by poverty, harshness by harsh treatment, tyranny by slavery, and laziness by forced labor. These correspondences should not be used to judge others with certainty, but for self-examination. How to read the past in the present. Even without knowing exact acts from former lives, people can learn much about what they have been by studying themselves carefully. Dominant tendencies, repeated weaknesses, natural attractions, and constant inner struggles often show the direction from which the spirit has come. But improvement may already have happened, so present character does not reveal the past in a simple way. What matters is not recovering old names, places, and events, but seeing what must be corrected now. Forgetfulness is therefore not a loss of guidance but a safeguard. The spirit remembers what matters most through conscience, inclination, trial, and the freedom to choose differently.